I'm Barbara Martin, and this is John Kovalcik, and we live here in Delaware, Ohio. And just before John moved in, I decided to get solar panels and have the extra energy from the sun. We're both environmentalists. We're both really interested in recycling and doing all that we can to help planet Earth. And this location is a location that just seems appropriate for something like solar because we're close to nature, and I just think that we need to do all we can do to keep the planet safe and healthy, and using the sun just makes more sense than anything.
Yes, and during the bicentennial, I worked for a year here in Ohio with a company that sold solar heating equipment and groundwater heat pumps, and I starved. Even though there were tax breaks from the state of Ohio and at that time from the Fed, people were so I don't know, just turned off to it. And back then there were a lot of commercials by the fossil fuel companies saying, oh, solar isn't practical now. So I've been very aware of solar's power, or as far as being able to harness it for a long time. And I had no influence on her decision. I wanted, this is her house, and I wanted her to make the decision, and I'm glad she did.
Well, speaking of in the past, I lived in Michigan, on Lake Michigan side, and I visited their nuclear power plant there, and they had a questionnaire thing that you went through way back. This is in the 70s. And one of the questions was, is solar power practical? And the answer was no on their questionnaire. And I thought, there's something wrong with this questionnaire. I just don't believe this. I think this is part of the propaganda that's been fed to us. And there were homes along Lake Michigan that did have solar power. I always thought, oh, if I can ever have solar power, I would like to have it. So when they offered the solar co-op here, I went to the meetings, and Dave Carpenter, who is a teacher in the area, had talked to us about it at one time, and I thought, it's really something that I'd like to do. So I was really glad to have the opportunity to do it. Other states are really embracing these alternative energy forms, and I'd like to see Ohio do more of it. And so I'm just doing my little part where I am. I think if everybody does their little part, it adds up.